Welcome to Babumoshai. Bengal is in the middle of a tectonic political election, but there's much more to this election than the violence, abuse, controversy and slander. So here I am, over Mishti at the iconic Boloram Mollik and Radha Raman Mollik. So time to go inside. You know, this is such a pleasure to bring Babumoshai to you with people who are very dear to me and dear to this city and this state. The idea of Bengal is also Adda, also Golpo, which is storytelling about high culture and a lot of good civil political debate. So that's what we are here for. And one by one, let me introduce my guests for this episode of Babumoshai. With me, senior journalist, dear friend, Gautam Bhattacharya, who's been covering entertainment, sport, politics for close to 4 decades and someone ingrained in this city's political culture. The two gentlemen here, all of us know them now nationally. They are two of the best musicians this country recently has seen, and we will hear from them. You have seen them at the Pink Test. You have seen them at the Netaji Centenary, the 125. You have seen them at many places, but today in a very different avatar, in a non-political, how do I put it? Non-political is perhaps the right way, but at the same time, an intense discussion. The lady here is one of Bengal's leading medical practitioners, doctors, administrators, someone who stood at the very forefront of the COVID fight, someone who could have gone to any state or city to work, but has decided to choose Bengal. And finally, I have somebody who is one of our leading directors, someone who doesn't mince words, someone who told me, "Ja icche jigesh karo," whatever you want to ask, you ask. And that's what we will do. So I will start with some music, because let's set the tone. Tumra dujon, the two of them, I will drift into little bits of Bangla as well. That's fine. Just Kano Bajaccho, what you are playing today, and what are we going to hear to set the tone for Babumoshai?
Actually, we thought we'll sing this song because we have a national audience. So maybe this song will appeal to all of them. And this talks about, India in itself.
Let's hear.
Bharat humko jaan se pyara hai, sabse pyara देश हमारा है, सदियों से भारत भूमिया की शान है, भारत माँ की रक्षा में जीवन कुर्बान है, भारत हमको जान से प्यारा है, सबसे प्यारा देश हमारा है.
Outstandingly nice to set the tone. What they just performed, that is my first question to Arindam. Arindam, if I could come to you. Actually, ki desh sabse pyara aur hai. What we are seeing, the language of political discourse that we are seeing, something I'm going to ask Gautam da also. Are you a little disappointed with the language of political discourse?
I have, over this last couple of months, have been spending time with Hariharanji, and we did this wonderful album. Probably after a long time, an album with 6 songs have come out, love songs. It's called Ishq, and I have shot the video of all of them at Kolkata. Why I brought up Ishq is because Ishq should be the flavor of the season. That's what is more required. A little bit of love, a little bit of sweetness is what we would rather have in the language of politics.
Let me come to that to Gautam da. Gautam da, is that what is missing now? He just actually set the stage quite beautifully. You interviewed Mithun the other day, and we could hear you ask that question also, that the language, the discourse, the bhasha, what has changed between 2016 and now? What are you sensing on the ground? Are you happy with what's going on?
Not really. It does not do Bengal any favors, because this sort of things, now you get to read them nationally, you get to watch them nationally, and what is happening here is not the most desirable thing. If you ask me as a journalist, 2016 elections, I saw it between Didi's Trinamool versus the combined left and the Congress. This elections clearly is Didi versus BJP. It has changed. The texture has changed. It is Didi versus, no longer Didi's Trinamool, it is Didi. But the language, the environment surrounding the elections is awful, to say the least. And the worst part is, till date, not a single politician has apologized, has said sorry for whatever the remarks that they have made. The need of the hour is to become more responsible. And also you have to understand the culture of the Bengal, ethos of Bengal. The Bengal is known hugely as an intellectual state over the years. And what we are doing, the language, is to put it very mildly, is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace.
May I just add a couple of things too? Because he said those lines very well. Ethos. We were talking about ethos. We were talking about the culture. We were talking about the heritage of our language. Once again, when Baba used to say that Ajke Shraddhananda Parke Jyoti Babur Bhashon ache. So people used to go and watch their leaders talking. Now, would you do that? I would hate to listen to any leader for that matter.
You said Ajke Bhashon ache. Now, Bhashon is the Bengali word which actually means lecture, Boktita. But Bhashon, you no longer get to hear Bhashon. Today people say Malta Ajke Bolbe. That is how it has...
So let me translate this. Malta Ajke Bolbe Mal is a very pejorative, commodified term for a commodity. So our political leaders, in a sense, have been commodified. Commodified as to what they will give me, and that's when I will vote, be it the BJP or the Trinamool, or for that matter anyone. Let me come to Rupali. Rupali, as a senior medical practitioner, over the last 1 year, you have been at the forefront of COVID, one of the greatest crises the world has seen. You could have worked in any part of the country, even internationally. What made you choose Bengal and stick to Bengal? And are you happy with the work atmosphere in this state?
When you are talking about workplaces, if we just heard about the language, what we are using today and how deterioration has happened over the years. If you look back, I have studied in Arjikar Medical College in Calcutta, although I'm from Durgapur, which is a suburb and a small town. So the dream of working in Calcutta was there, studying in Calcutta was there. And then when you finish up your studies and you have to choose a profession, I kind of understood that there is a requirement here, because the status of the hospitals, which actually was at the peak in the late 60s, the first open heart surgery happened in PG hospital here, performed by my father-in-law, Dr. Professor Ajit Kumar Basu. And then today, when we were graduating, I understood that, there are things which are going down, and hospitals are complex ecostructures. They're not really run by only good doctors, but you have so many angles of a hospital. And I picked up something which is, at that time, there was no formal teaching. Hospital management, quality systems, accreditation of hospitals, how you make standardized hospitals for everyone, be it a poor person or a small nursing home or a big place or private or public. So I studied all those, not only in India, but I had to go abroad and study in Harvard. So, we brought back. And I chose to work in Kolkata because I thought that this is the place which has seen the past and has to see the future.
Gautam, the very direct one. I mean, and Arindam, I don't know if he will take this, but I will ask him this.
I'm only the non-striker. He's the striker.
He's the striker. Fair enough. Fair enough. But this is the end of the power play. And by the way, we are in Balaram Mollik, Radharaman Mollik, an iconic Mishti Pratishthan, an institution of our city and state. So my request to Shudip Mollik, before we take a break, he has to give us some Mishti, because as we said, this program, Babumoshai, the language will always be sweet. Don't you worry. Gautam, that direct question. Yes. What we are seeing in our film fraternity or in the cultural realm, people by the dime and the dozen, moving to the two political parties. Is it about credibility? Is it about what? Or is this helping the institution of, say, Tollywood? Or what are your thoughts?
I think it is an embarrassment. Sooner or later, a director will make a movie on this. I'm not sure whether Arindam will be the one.
Arindam, do you want to take this?
I wouldn't want to take names, but I've been in programs with actors. One of them in very high position in a political party right now, being asked the name of the President of India, and she had said Alauddin Khan. So such is the political education of most. What I want to say is, it is not that a few crores, it is not that a shelter, it is not that the power of having bouncers taller than you all around you would make you cross boundaries and take up a profession where you would just be minimized into yes men.
Okay? And as you can see here, none of us stopped Arindam from speaking. This is civil political debate. Coming to the two of you. You guys are both performing nationally now. Okay? Do you think you have had the creative freedom in this state to do what you want to do? Are you happy with the state of affairs? Give me an honest answer, both of you.
Absolutely, yes. And in comparison to the national, scenes, I think Bengal has never, at least for us, made certain lines that you can't cross. So as an artist, we have always been free here in Bengal.
You have performed in a Narendra Modi function. You have performed in what could be a political function. You have performed in a Didi function. Has anyone ever called and said, "Na otai jeo na, don't do that, only do this"? Have you come under any sort of pressure? Has it happened? And by the way, there comes the Mishti. Before we head into our break, which we will after this, Dada, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the Mishti. Before we head into the break, all of us will have, Arindam can't wait, Rupali is jumping into it, so will I, but please.
So generally, music has always been a reflection of the moving time, what we see around, and especially in Bengal, since the Swadeshi movement, be it Vande Mataram or songs later, poetry, music, everything has evolved out of the situation that we see around. And even in today's politics, all this situation with the elections, it is also seeing new songs, new creations of poetry, installation art, or even posters, graffiti art had been inspired by politics. But what I mean to say is, there are parameters which are restricting certain artists to go with their beliefs.
Have you been ever?
Not really. If it's your soul, if your soul is transparent, which believes in what you do, and you have the guts to go with it, no one can stop you, especially in Bengal.
Mishti niye kono gaan ache? Do we have a song on Mishti, or can you create this flavor before we go into the break? Chalo bhai.
Toppa ache kichu?
Anything, couple of lines to set the mood. Chalo.
Okay, let's do Ami Kolkata Rasgulla.
Done.
আমি কলকাতা রসগোল্লা, আমি কলকাতা রসগোল্লা, we all have to join. আমি কলকাতা রসগোল্লা, আমি কলকাতা রসগোল্লা, দাদা নিনি সা 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 গা রে রে গা গা রে রে মা মা গা গা রে রে সা সা রে নি সা দা নি সা আমি ও আমি.
On that note, excuse me, we've got to go in for a break. As we have our Mishti, we don't want to torment you more. We will go into a break, come back and tell you how the Mishti was. Keep watching Babumoshai. As you can see, we are not here to support any political party. We are here to support our state and tell you the real pulse. Coming back after a very short break.
আমরা নূতন মালা পড়ে গলে বাংলা জেনেছি বেঙ্গলে, কলিকাতায় কাল কাটিয়ে ক্যালকাটায় বেঁধেছি বাসা, আমরি বাংলা ভাষা তোমার বাঁচার নাইকো আশা, আমরি বাংলা ভাষা. So Atul Prasad Sen's Moder Gaurav Moder Asha, which is a kind of an iconic song. So this song was a parody of the original song, and the parody was done by none other but Dada Thakur, Sharat Pandit, almost 100 years ago. So even 100 years ago, there must have been debates that Bangla Bhasha is at stake.
Unbelievable. That's what we want. I mean, back after the debate, rather the break. with Mishti. Not much time left, so I'll take quick comments from all my guests. Gautamda, we know it is a direct political election. We know the language issue. We have discussed all of it. The issue I want to touch upon, our favorite, the great Mr. Ganguly, should he have come irrespective of political party? Would Saurabh or people like Saurabh make a difference to our political system? Your thoughts, candid thoughts.
I would have been really excited to see Ganguly, participating in the polls this year. As much as I respect his decision not to contest or stay away from it, but surely we needed someone of his stature and vision to bring about changes and to see that, whatever is happening. I mean, Saurabh as a captain was, he has gone down in history that someone who affected so many changes, even as the board president did the same. I thought a repeat would be happening here. Maybe sometime in the future he must consider.
So you're not ruling it out. Arindam, same question?
I would differ a bit from Gautam in the sense that I would leave it to Saurabh for his personal understanding, because he is the best judge of whether he would be good in politics or not. And I would always leave it at that by saying that because he has a mass, and agree to an extent because of the fact that he has a mass following. He's been a great captain. So if a great leader can be made out of him, because people like Saurabh are very few in this country. People to whom we can look up to. People who can...
So let me go to Rupali on that. Rupali, you vaccinated the fellow? You have treated him for his heart ailment? You have a very close look on him. So give me a sense. I mean, you've interacted with him very closely. Would he have made a difference? Would you have welcomed, again I am saying, irrespective of political party, irrespective of the BJP or the Trinamool, would you have welcomed a figure like Saurabh?
Yes, I don't want to really comment on the, the political angle of it, but a human being, as a human being, Saurabh is a very decent, very nice to talk to, very grounded, very intelligent. And we all, so, from my side, I told him when we were having our little discussions when he was in the hospital, so that to Viki Hocho, Chief Minister Hocho and all that. And then,
one sec, so that means, are you becoming Chief Minister? Would you contest? That's what she just asked.
So then he said that, I don't want to talk on the conversation, but I told him my part is that, I would like to see you as a Chief Minister of any state, and especially Bengal, because persons like you should represent politics. And that is what the words of positivity are. We are talking about language, but the words of positivity is very important. We need to think about the ethics. We need to think about our intelligence. How do you grow your, knowledge? And you have to bring in that knowledge at workplaces. And that is what Success Mantra is all about. Talking about integrity, talking about ethics, and then talking about the passion and the drive, which Arindam was also pointing out. This combination is actually the Success Mantra.
See, it is from this Bengal. It is these Bengalis who's given their lives for their language. No other jati, no other generation across the world have done that. Bhashar jonno pran diyeche, given life for a language. So that is where we evolve from. From there on, right now, political leaders have started talking in the language of the masses. Why I'm saying language of the masses, it's very evident what you see, the language in social media. The way trolling is being done. See, it is the language of the masses. And how does it affect? It affects like this. It affects in the culture of the society, where you have sweets made in the name of Joy Shri Ram and Khela Habe, where Joy Shri Ram, Khela Habe and Tumpa Shona are becoming your ethos. They are representing your culture. Where from the stairs of the Prime Minister of the country, a superstar of the country would talk about Cobra and Keute and about Lash Fele Debo.
Okay. So let me say this. Before I go to the two of them again to finish off with a song, let me say this. Yes, we have Chobi and Chobol, as Arindam said, the great Mithun Chakraborty saying, Ami Jol Dhora noi, Ami Bele Bora noi, Ami Jat Keute. That is also a language. And by the way, Babumoshai respects that, because this is freedom of expression and choice. But the language of this discourse is also language that we Bengalis are proud of. That is why this program, this state and this city, is not simply about violence, slander, dirt, or abuse of each other. It's very important to have that, because that's what made Bengal the eye of this country, not the political storm. India stood. That is why that statement, what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. That's no longer the case. And sadly for us, that's no longer the case. Can we do it? Maybe we can. Only if all of us come together and say, we will speak the language of respectability, whoever wins. Let the best people win. Let the best party win, depending on who the people of this state wants to vote for. I will leave it at that for this particular episode of Babumoshai. And once again, it's my time. I'm a Bengali, so I'll have to have one more mishti. But I'll go to them for a final song. Take a look.
So this song is basically for all the parties, for all the polls. सुर की नदियाँ हर दिशा से बहके सागर में मिले, बादलों का रूप लेके बरसे हल्के हल्के, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, तो सुर बने हमारा, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा.
Thank you very much for watching. Keep watching Babumoshai on India Today television as we capture the real pulse of our city and state. For the moment, thank you for watching.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.